Hello, friends, and welcome to Bad Boy Crimes. This is a little disclaimer that this episode, it's a lot about Kanye West. And unfortunately, that's just the reality of the situation. If that bothers you, if you're tired of hearing about this fucking idiot, my bad. New episode next week. But this one, you're going to hear a little bit about Yeezy. And that's unfortunate. But that's the way it is. That being said, here's a brand new Christmas December theme song to set you off on a nice little December journey. It's not even really Christmas. Shout out to all the listeners. I love you guys. Check out my December themed album, 12 No Vowels, on all streaming platforms. And here's the episode. What's up, gamers?
Oh, come on, really? Matt, you were holding out the whole time, and I don't fucking have anything. I look like... what is that? Is that a little...
This motherfucker traveled. You time traveled.
It's a Pepsi Soda Shop Cherry Cola.
That sounds delightful.
It's not great, but it's pretty good. It's okay.
It's a Pepsi.
Is like a Cherry Coke better?
Yeah, Cherry Coke's definitely better, because this is more... It's like a Cherry Cola. Like, it's not like a Cherry Coke kind of thing.
Oh, so it's like cheer wine.
So it's basically just a worse cheer wine.
Shout out.
Right. Shout out the South.
Yeah, we got.
There's a few good things going on down there, some bad things in the South. But they have cheer wine, so...
No, there's nothing good going down in the South. Anything south of me, I don't know about that.
Calling all of America the South is a very funny bit.
It's accurate from my perspective. You know that meme of like the two people looking at a number on the ground? They're like, this is a 6. And the other one's like, no, it's a 9. From my perspective.
I feel like that playing Uno, Thank God it has the fucking lions on it, because I'm like, what is this? I don't know.
This could be a very haunting allegory if there weren't the
lions.
lions.
They should make a version of Uno where it's like a 6 or a 9 can be used for each other, kind of as like an extra layer of gameplay.
Like Chaos
right?
Uno.
Yeah, Chaos. Maybe. I was playing a game of Uno, and they had a card that was it was a wild card, but you could write on it. That was part of the rules. You could write on the card and make it say whatever the fuck you want, whatever kind of ruling you want.
Forever.
And I was like, we're throwing this in the trash. I'm not fucking touching them. I'm not sullying the holy rules
sanctity of Uno.
Yeah.
So you got to play a game of Uno for like 3 hours, one round that just lasts forever. And you're begging for anybody to win.
Yeah, Uno should be an endurance test more than anything else, I think.
The biggest endurance test in my life has been Cards
Being a
Against
Kanye
Humanity.
West fan. Oh.
No. To be fair to me,
we need to be so fair to you.
We should be fair to me. I got off that train days ago.
Well, yeah, no, like I've said before on other podcasts, Kanye truly, he figured out the one thing he could do that would make me just unequivocally stop supporting him, or even pretending to, which, damn, bummer. I liked his music. I'm glad he is not my Spotify Wrapped, though. That would be rough.
It's not on my Spotify Wrapped, I'll tell you that.
We all know someone here whose it is.
It's not on mine.
It's not on. It might be on one of our co-hosts. Well, one of someone's
perhaps
co-hosts, but
who knows?
Who's to say?
Who's to say?
And I'm not passing. I'm not passing judgment.
It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
Who do we have on our?
We got MattKUltra, one of the wee Zoomers, has never altered a single Vista. Was never asked a single Jeeve or Jeeves, for that matter.
Did you write that? It looks like you're reading off of a script.
I'm reading a crime, actually, for the True Crime podcast.
With like a talk show host just like drenched in sweat looking at the cue cards. Like he asked Jeeves
card,
something.
Look, it's not one of the best intros.
It's all right.
But it exists, that's fine, and I'm not going to do anything about it.
Hey, he said the thing.
Yeah, certainly not another take.
Yeah.
Leave us a positive review. He said the thing.
Yeah, the thing has been said.
I said, look, most of the times that we're redoing bits, it's I'm setting up a bit that I do, and then Coach steals it. He steals my punchline. He steps on my joke. And now I'm stealing his joke. The one good joke that he's written for this show, I stole it.
Damn. Things are heating up.
Of the 17 things that I say that everyone's like, wow, these are funny. I'm not allowed to say them anymore because Coach steals them. The moment he sees an inkling in my eye of like, I'm going to say something funny, this motherfucker pounces on it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think we all know what I'm talking about.
I think you need to come up with 10 examples.
Yeah, am I going to be the arbiter of the great Squid Coach debate?
Well, actually, what this episode really is an excuse for a clip show, and we're just going to we're only going to talk for like 10 minutes.
Oh, I
we're
see.
Going to
Yeah,
edit in, an hour of clips.
All the times that I set up, I don't do well with follow-up questions, and Coach steals the line from me.
Yeah. That's what you haven't been a guest technically on this show forever, Matt. Well, at all.
Yeah.
And now that this is the episode you get to be a guest
host. Yeah.
And that's the meta joke for
what would an argument between Squid and Coach sound like? I think it'd go a little something like this. All right, roll the first clip.
And it's where we have our actual on mic.
The actual argument. That one was wild.
It was a good episode, actually. I stand by everything I said on that episode.
I stand by everything I said.
I still don't even remember what the argument was. I just remember like sitting there vaguely uncomfortable because like podcasts for me, I'm good at avoiding like the parasocial thing. I don't think like these are my friends, but I actually know both of you. So it's like my friends are just fighting. I'm just sitting in another room while my friends argue with each other. This is a really
my
weird
colleagues
vibe.
are breaking up. Yeah. Well,
yeah. That was almost the end of the show, for real.
For real, I was like, you're like, I'm done. I've had it with this Joker.
Is this the end of Bad Boy Crimes? Tune in next time to find out.
And you're just sorely disappointed that there's an episode next week, and we just don't address it. I don't think we did address it the next week.
No, and I respect that, frankly. Just moving on. I'm like, no, this is...
we're good.
It happened. That's
was
fine.
that when we were doing Patreon episodes too? Like,
probably.
Were we doing 2 a week and we had that fight, and then it's
damn.
We have that fight, and then immediately 3 days later, it's like a Patreon episode where we're palling around like nothing.
Actually, I think that did happen.
Yeah, I think that's the week that we did Joker in the TARDIS.
The greatest Patreon episode.
It's a great episode.
What if there was a time traveling Joker? What if?
Yeah.
What if?
Marvel,
So
what if?
They should do a Coach what if.
What would...
Okay, what does that look like?
I don't know. What if I didn't do this podcast?
Coach is a millionaire. Like
No, I don't think anything.
For some reason, all of your shitcoin investments all like exploded, and you became the only man to become a billionaire off of Dogecoin.
I think, yeah. And I would be the most boring billionaire because I would have just like been like, well, I'm never working until I run out of money, and then I'm killing myself.
Yeah,
which is how you should do it.
Yeah, and you can
Absolutely.
You can, while never working and still living a decently good lifestyle, just sit on $1 billion and never work again. Like, it's crazy to me that there's people out there who are like,
you can let that, you can stretch that out for a long time.
Yeah, I mean,
like I wouldn't buy a house. I just rent an apartment forever.
I was just gonna say, like, I mean, I'd buy a house, just like nothing huge and nothing like in the middle of a city, like somewhere.
Why would you want to live in a city?
Yeah, like just somewhere like where land is moderately cheap. Buy a decent sized house.
Buy a compound.
Buy a compound.
NFT.
A lot of guns, and then but no, like I don't know. It's crazy to me.
And
There's
then
these people-
get a little podcast recording studio.
yeah,
and
set up a
set.
podcast recording
Passive
studio.
income, baby. That's all. It's all about that grind.
Yeah, you're
And
getting
here on Bad Boy
$18
Crimes,
a month on
We're
Patreon.
rebranding to Bad Boy Grinds, and we're going to teach
All right.
all of you how to make passive income.
Yeah,
starting
become
next
a
week.
landlord. It's called house hacking, right? So you just buy a house and then you rent out 2 of the bedrooms and you live in the other one.
Yeah, you find a desperate family who clearly needs somewhere to live, and you go, "Oh, I won't tell anybody. Just
I won't tell anybody. I need a
1,500
roommate.
a month, please."
Yeah, each. It's not by the room; it's by the person.
Yep. And if they
What-
complain, just pick up the phone, dial 9, see if they do anything. Hit 1, see if they do anything.
Dark.
And then
Look.
garnish their wages if they can't afford it.
Yeah, I'm on my grind set.
It's all about making that money and generating passive income and wealth. And what else? What else do these fucking losers
It's
talk
just
about?
that. Like, have you guys seen the ad of like the guy who has like 7 botched plastic surgeries in his face? He's like, which one's worth more, a house or a laptop?
Oh, I have seen that one, and I'm like,
yeah.
well, the house. He's like, but you
Yeah.
can't make passive income with the house,
Well,
but on the laptop you can.
It's somehow
drop
it's
shit.
even worse than him saying you can't make passive income. His reasoning is definitely not the house, because on top of a mortgage, you have to pay for maintenance every month, which is insane. Like, I don't know where this man lives that every month he's dropping thousands of dollars to maintain his home.
Maybe he just lives like a animal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
Well, definitely not the house, because since you're throwing a rager every single night, the TV keeps getting ripped out of the wall and stolen.
Yeah, laptops famously just work perfectly forever.
Yeah.
That's what I've known
Famously,
about
yeah.
Yeah, and the laptop had digital real estate on it. One of the many.
Oh yeah, I hear about that where it's like you can
Yeah.
buy. Why instead of buying real land, what if you bought fake land for
What
real
if
money?
you had an NFT house?
Yeah, and you can just hold that little card up to your heart as you're sitting out there on the streets freezing to death because the crypto market crashed. And like, well, I'll always have LeBron James's house in the metaverse.
And like VR chat already exists. I don't get the metaverse shit
Yeah,
because it's
no
like,
one.
why
no
would I
one's
do that
saying-
when I could do VR chat? Everything's better in VR chat.
Yeah, no one's saying looks at VR chat and goes, "Wow, I wish I bought real estate here." Like,
Well, I mean, some
Some
places.
people.
Let me tell you.
There's the other get rich quick scheme that's like, you just go on this website that's hiring translators, and then you go
Oh,
on
yeah.
Fiverr and you find someone in the Philippines for $8. You get them to translate the document, sell it for $700. Easy money, baby.
yeah, and that sort of thing. On top of being unethical, also just isn't that feasible in the long run. Like,
No, they're like
You
can
cannot
make
do that.
$800 an hour.
yeah,
Well,
like-
or what you could do is get a ghostwriter, have them write a book, then have them convert that book into an audio book that's read by a different person,
oh, that's
and then you sell that, which is a video. We've all watched the video, maybe.
Yeah, I have seen. I forgot all about that video. That's why that was only like a month ago too. Damn, my mind is feeble.
Your mind's just going so fast.
The
Yeah.
days
You're
keep
the smartest
coming,
person in the room.
and truly they don't stop coming.
What have you
Yeah.
fellas been up to?
Gaming. I've finally gotten into gaming.
What
Great.
What epic gaming are you doing as of late, Squid?
Luck be a landlord.
Oh yes, of course. How could I forget?
Well, and
No.
and
And
say
what
it.
else? What else
can-
have I been playing?
Paper Mario and the Origami King.
I have been playing Paper Mario.
Anytime I go on my Switch and I see who's online, it's like 2 people, and like one of them's Nick Oldershaw playing like Capcom Collection, whatever. The other one's Skillshy playing Paper Mario and the Origami King. And I always message him and be like, "How's that Origami King going, man?"
Mm-hmm. It's
Have-
a fine game.
Like, the older ones are better.
I believe that. I don't own the older ones.
Well, that's the funny thing about the older ones is that
You gotta
you don't
own
have
it.
to. I mean, yeah, you should own them, and you could rent them from a game rental establishment place.
My local
and
Blockbuster actually closed down.
Well, I'm sure there's GameFly, right? You can rent it on GameFly and definitely not download Dolphin and download a ROM of Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Door.
Never.
You never want to do that.
No, this is a true crime podcast. We're just discussing crimes that you shouldn't be doing.
You shouldn't do that. I'm not
a true
advocating
crime
for that.
podcast that just does crimes and then discusses them is also very funny.
Yeah.
It's like, this week we beheaded a woman.
Why is that?
Further.
Why did you?
It's a little bit further than pirating a GameCube game.
That's what the true crime podcasts that aren't intentionally marketing themselves off of not working like normal true crime podcasts do, right? Like they're like, okay, girlies, today we're talking about the down street rapist, a man who brutally killed 17 women, and we usually have fun on these, but this episode gets a little serious towards the end, so trigger warning. And you go, wow, I hate you. I hope you die.
Or you are
wow.
My favorite murder.
Yeah,
my
podcast I was not referring to.
Yeah, I was like,
talk about heists.
My favorite murder, definitely. They're stealing our kind of thunder, doing non-murders.
Yeah,
we do the fun crimes. That was our thing.
Our whole thing
it does
is
feel wrong to call
crimes.
yourself.
We do crimes that they won't tell you anywhere else.
Yeah, they're no small crimes, just small criminals.
It's true. So true.
Mindset makes the criminal, as they always say.
Yeah, the problem is I keep doing crimes that our close personal friend Matt already knows.
Yeah, which
you're not supposed to know.
Yeah, Matt, that's kind of sus for the ongoing debate about you, which I don't know if we need to necessarily get into. But knowing about true crime,
hang on. I don't
know
about true crime.
That's a tally to the board.
I don't know about normal true. Well, I do know about normal true crime too. But well, what are you gonna do?
But knowing about the occult, well, I don't know. The occult stuff could go either way, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say that one's more, I think, in line with the interests that one would expect of me. But oh well.
You have, I would say, a more serious true crime podcast than I do.
I do. It's not necessarily true crime. We talk about criminals every now and then, but
Aleister Crowley.
We're talking about things that may or may not have even happened, but
Oh no. Well, all the things have happened. I just sometimes
Andrew
imply
Garfield,
that
big
more
criminal.
things happen. Andrew Garfield, what a guy.
That movie did happen. They filmed it. It's real.
That movie is actually a documentary, which is fucked up.
Yeah, I agree. Everything in that movie is real.
It's all connected. What does Roswell say?
He says something different at the end of each episode.
All right.
Can't get him to commit.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my girlfriend's making faces at me on the floor.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah. It looks like you're making faces at her.
Well, I was being made faces at first.
All right. Get her on the show.
Yeah, get on the cast and defend yourself. No? Okay.
Man.
No.
Well, we tried.
Okay.
It's rude.
I guess she just doesn't like Matt specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's constantly coming on the show for other guests. But when Matt's here, no thank you.
No thank you.
Many are saying, as people are going, Coach's girlfriend just doesn't like Matt. It's why it's been so difficult getting me on.
I've had to run it by her a few times. And,
she keeps vetoing it. But
she keeps
today,
not shooting him down.
I managed to sneak under.
She was going out for a run, and I was like, "Quick, guys, let's have Matt on the podcast."
Yeah, we might get a little bit of legal action once this airs.
And that's a bridge I'm willing to cross.
Mm-hmm. We'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah, exactly. Now, he said another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why we don't even need a clip show if we just say the same things every episode. That's the whole podcast.
I urge you to stay curious.
Saying a thing?
What else do I say? What are the dumb things that I say?
I don't know. They really
get
do.
this road on the show. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They really do have a way of just sliding off of my brain, like
that
oil.
Train has sailed. I don't know.
It's workout time.
And that was a great time to be working out.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard about this? I Alex Jones fellow.
I may have,
No,
I may
who's
have
that?
heard tell of Alex Jones.
Hmm. I don't really know about him. I heard there's like a tweet about him that I read, and I was like, "Who's that guy?" My good friend Matt knows about these things.
I do. Unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. I don't
What
know. Are we
things in
going to get
particular
into
are
it?
We're going to get into it? Let's get into it, I think.
Let's get into it. We finally can get into it. It's been almost 20 minutes.
After our nice intro. Yeah, like several other true crime podcasts, after killing about 20 minutes of airtime, we're finally ready to discuss it.
And we didn't do one ad read.
Yeah, no ad reads. No.
We're keeping it
cloying.
easy, simple, and fresh, just like this week's sponsor, HelloFresh. Use Bad Boy Crimes at the checkout for
Promo code BBC.
6 free meals over 8 boxes and 3 surprise gifts. Yeah, nailed it.
Nailed it. I did have in the planning of this show, because I was mad about podcasts. Once they start making money, that's when they do less content.
Yeah, I mean, they're just like
that's
idiots.
art
They get bad
in general.
once they're, yeah, I guess that is just art in general. Yeah,
But it's like you're doing an hour a week, presumably, and then they're like 3 minutes of this. Now that we're making money, 3 minutes of this is not content anymore. Or in my favorite murder's case, 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, because you have to just cut out a chunk for.
Yeah, you're like, this is
ads,
no longer true crime. We're talking about.
That's why artists should never be successful, which is why this podcast
Magic
is so
Spoon.
good, because it'll never
never
be
then,
successful.
Especially on something like My Favorite Murder, like then another 10 minutes is dedicated to like cloying, pandering to fans, just like interactions you've had throughout the week.
Yeah.
A podcast that makes me I am unnecessarily hostile towards this podcast that I have listened to maybe 2 episodes halfway through a year ago, but oh boy, it left an impression.
I haven't listened to any of it, and I hate it. It's the worst podcast.
It's not good. I found,
and the problem is the problem with it all is it's the people listening. They're the reason why the podcast still exists.
Yeah, they're all complicit in this. If you listen to My Favorite Murder, it's your fault.
My girlfriend's now mad that I'm implying that she's the problem for listening to My Favorite Murder, but I'm just saying that's how
you listen to.
I listened to it when
you
were making me listen to it while you're cleaning your room. You turned it on. You turned it on. Was I going to leave your room to not listen to it?
You did not object.
Coach, it's not looking good for you. I'm going to be real. Are you an undercover My Favorite Murder fan?
No, I'm not. I don't listen to it.
Do they call them murderinos? What do they call them?
They do call them murderinos.
I hate that
because I listen to it.
Oh, fuck. I hate that so much. Oh, my God.
I'm being attacked on all sides. This is really challenging.
I'm just getting mad about My Favorite Murder again. Sometimes, just to like torture myself, I think I'll go to like just Spotify for podcasts and just scroll and click on one and just like download a random episode and listen to something.
That doesn't seem like that's for you.
It's crazy how bad every podcast that I don't already listen to is. Like, I've never once gone like, wow, I really am glad that I listened to this. It's just awful.
Yeah, but you got to keep trying. One day you'll get there.
The one, I think I was complaining about this on the Doug Zone. One of the things that started this habit was I was looking for an episode of a podcast that I liked that covered the Michael Haneke movie Funny Games. And it didn't come up, but another podcast did, where it was just like a group of white women discussing horror movies.
Oh, I bet that was riveting.
Yeah, it was. They're all so charismatic and distinct. It was recorded on like January. It was recorded on like.
My favorite part about this podcast is all the hosts are different for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, it's definitely all not the same person copy pasted. Like,
it was recorded on like January 8th, 2021. So like the first 10 minutes of them was going like, now we're going to be having some fun, but there was an attack, the U.S. Capitol, just a few days ago, and if you're
at the same time, we're like, how about Via Getty?
Yeah, I'm like, this Via Getty guy. As I've said before, everybody who's like, yeah, no one will ever forget where they were on January 6th. I won't, because I was sitting with my friends and I looked at my phone when Twitter lit up and I went, someone broke a window at the Capitol. And then I put my phone back down and continued having a lovely time with my friends. And that is all that I knew about January 6th as it was occurring.
Oh, well, I was
But-
at work. So I was like, well, this beats working. So I'm just
Oh,
read this all
absolutely.
day.
Yeah, you might as well. If you're at work, to be clear, you got to just see what's going on Twitter.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I was at the Capitol. That's how I remember where I was.
Taking photos of Via Getty.
Yeah.
Who do you think Via Getty is?
That's a good point.
Who do I think, or do I know who it is? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe Via Getty recently guested on the Alex Jones InfoWars television series.
Nice to bring that back. Yeah,
He was in a mask. Who's to say?
I think the funniest musician who was at January 6th was Ariel Pink, I think, which is just very funny. Like, because he didn't break into the Capitol, but he was like at the demonstrations. And when he was asked about it later, he was like, I was just there to support the president. It's like, what are you doing?
it'd be
Guy
funny
makes-
if there was a really off the wall person there, like if Kim Petras was a January 6th.
That would rock.
That would be hilarious. I don't know what she would be doing there. I don't think she would be
Performing.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Slaying.
they
if
would
you
all
ask
love
me.
her.
Mm-hmm. Just playing slut pop all the way through.
Shout out to Kim Petras.
January 6th should be like the new like ACL. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They should do like an ACL thing, but it's just at.
Oh, I
You,
see.
you
Okay.
break into the Capitol. You go into like Nancy Pelosi's office. You pull up Spotify on her computer.
No, but like there's somebody there, you know, like Carly Rae
Yeah, it's an
Jepsen's
event.
there, and she's doing a show, like a little private.
A little private show.
Intimate.
If Carly Rae
like-
Jepsen was at the Capitol Hill riot, I would have been there. Full force.
You would have said like checked your phone, saw Twitter. Oh, Carly Rae Jepsen is at the Capitol. See ya.
Yeah, I would have just immediately full dead sprint to my car, and then I would go.
I could
You're going to
still
say
90 miles
make
an
dead
hour.
sprint to Washington.
Yeah, I mean, look, I could do that too. It would not be as efficient, but it's possible.
Yeah, I
You
mean
could.
more you than any of us.
That is true, yeah. I'm much closer.
Much closer. Beautiful Virginia, what a state. Anyway,
love
so
Virginia.
who was on the Alex Jones InfoWars program?
A former.
Jesus.
Oh, Jesus.
I have to joke because I'm very sad about it. There's a little bit of trauma. My boy Kanye, close personal friend of the show.
He's not a friend of the show.
Still?
But letting the record show, I do not consider Kanye West a friend.
Yeah, I was going to
Or
ask
good.
about that.
And I never have.
No.
That take, I think, is a little more hot.
Yeah. I mean, we say close personal friend about serial killers on this show.
Yeah, but that's different. They weren't racist.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I mean, that you know of.
That we know. No,
and
I'm
also,
sure.
a lot of them were very old-timey ones. They probably were racist.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that Ted Bundy had some thoughts on the Jews if you really pressed him on him.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, I guess we sort of talked about him.
we talked about, I don't know, I can't think of a single crime that we've talked about.
It's fine. We'll keep we'll
The
keep
Mystery
talking
Man
about
with
Kanye.
21 faces.
Um,
I bet all 21 of those faces were racist to a different people.
all
I was gonna say
21 of
all
those
21 of
faces
them-
were colorblind.
I was going to say they were all united in condemnation of Kanye West's actions.
Me too. I'm part of the 21
Yeah.
faces now.
22.
We got all right. Yeah, we've revealed it. We know who the Mystery Man with 21 Faces is after all this time.
It's me.
Yeah,
It's
usual
me.
suspect style. You had to spread the story so you could
Yeah.
get all.
and
suspicion
I was
away
the
from
red
yourself.
herring because I look like I'm Asian.
Famously, yeah.
According to some people.
And I was the other red herring because I worked at a candy factory.
Very true.
Oh.
I remember this story. Not really.
So
Yeah,
what did Kanye say?
He said some bad things that I disagree with.
Good. How are you holding up, by the way? Because I know this is like a big breakup for you, kind of.
Well, in actuality, I made a couple jokes, but I
guys, I know we usually have a lot of fun on this podcast.
We're having
This
a lot of fun.
episode's going to
This
get a
is-
little serious.
It's getting a little serious. Someone very close to me.
Thank you for saying that right as I took a drink,
Yeah.
Coach.
I wish I could say I tactically planned that, but
We're
I'm
all just winging it.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a Kanye defender for a long time, but I did get off that train
Yeah.
before it got to this. I
feel like over the summer, like
Yeah.
like it's been a couple of months at least, right?
Yeah, I kind of got off that train when he was being rude to Kid Cudi. That was my line. I was like, "You've gone too far. You can't be rude to that man."
You can't be rude to.
I
the
wasn't a
lonely
Kanye
stoner.
defender, I don't think, but I think I was definitely more resistant to like the Kanye hate than most people were, especially at the beginning of the year, where he was just visibly freaking out about like losing custody of his children and watching the most evil member of SNL fuck his wife.
Yeah,
Because there were those people who were posting things like, Kanye's posting things similar to what abusive husbands post before they've murdered their wives in the past. If I were Kim Kardashian, I'd be afraid for my life right now. It's like, well, A, you aren't Kim Kardashian. And B, if you were, I'm sure she has like Stinger missiles at her command that she could launch at anybody.
No, she
or
has
whatever
like
it is.
the U.S. Army
Yeah.
on speed dial. I can't wait for we should just privatize everything. You know,
Oh, yeah, I agree.
great take.
Yeah.
Great take.
I was thinking
Yeah.
the other day, I'm like, we just need to privatize the police
Mm-hmm.
because that way they can be held accountable
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
if
what
the
I
right person's in charge, which would be me.
So
We
that
need
doesn't sound very private.
PMCs running everything. We
I like
need
the-
Metal Gear Solid World.
I like that Coach is like, the ideal form of government, I think, is a blend of privatized companies working with a centralized state. I don't know if there's a name for this system out there, but I don't know.
Well, and what would we call
We
it?
need we need a government where there's just one guy in charge and he gets to make all the rules, and it's me. That's
Okay, well, that I
Coach's
agree with, but it's
Yeah.
me.
I think it should be of the three of us. I think it should be me, and you guys would be very high up. You'd be
Good.
cabinet members.
That's what I
I don't want to
need.
be
You
in
know?
your cabinet.
What would I be in your cabinet, Coach?
I would mutiny you in a fucking
Well,
second.
what are all the cabinet roles, or do I get to make them up?
Yeah, I mean, hey,
You're in charge.
It's just you. You're in charge.
I feel like you should be, Matt. You should be in charge of like internal investigation type things, you know?
Yeah,
Because then you can track down conspiracies and like investigate those.
I would have to put Skillshy up against the wall for plotting a mutiny, but it would be nothing personal.
No, I mean,
mean,
of course, it's
not
just
you.
business. Yeah,
Just be mutiny Coach.
yeah, but
But I am unfortunately.
That's my boy.
I must be loyal to my capo as as Chris Moltisanti's classic screenplay goes. So
Have y'all been watching White Lotus season 2?
I didn't watch White Lotus season 1. Should I
you
change
don't
that?
really I mean, honestly, it's a pretty good show. The first season's really like about, it's like a character study / like about like class and those kind of interactions, class and race and stuff like that. So it's actually like a pretty thoughtful, like good show. It's not a plot based show, which
That's
we all
fine.
know how I feel, which is in
Oh
better,
yeah, it is. Yeah,
superior even, but it's good. And season 2 is more about like gender dynamics, not in like necessarily like in a way that I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but in like a men versus women and how relationships are kind of different. In
yeah.
those varying lines.
Okay, that sounds interesting. I mean,
But anyway, Christopher is in it.
wow. Wow,
Yeah,
okay, that's
so,
cool.
well,
I don't see him
the
acting
actor.
much.
No.
Yeah.
But he's in it. He's a dad who sleeps with prostitutes a lot. Yeah.
Well,
Italian prostitutes.
Glad that
The
he-
second
okay.
season is
Now I'm
takes
on
place
his
in
side.
Sicily. And, well, Matt, I think you could get very into season 2. Let me
yeah.
tell you.
Look, I'm just glad he's supporting sex workers. You know.
Oh, the sex workers are well supported.
No, I mean, it's funny. I honestly, considering my politics, I don't generally like shows where it's like about class or gender or whatever, because a lot of those shows seem to be very proud of themselves for making incredibly simple points. Like, guys, I'm starting to think this whole capitalism thing might be not the best. And you're like, whoa, don't get too crazy with it.
I don't think you should kill people for their race. I'm like, wow,
You're like,
what
whoa.
a progressive show.
But and then sort of on a similar note, right? Like what was that? The movie with Florence Pugh in it this year that like had that disastrous.
Don't worry, darling.
Yeah.
Darling.
I watched the
movie
last 30 minutes of it, and I was like, I got what I needed, and also this
Yeah.
sucks.
The message
And
of
I'm
it
glad I didn't
seems to
watch any
be,
longer.
the message of it seems to be white women in the 50s didn't have a good time, which is an astonishing reveal. I needed art to tell me that.
Except for some
but-
of them were like, actually, I'm fine with this. This is
Which-
preferable.
Interesting.
That was a bit kind of to it.
Really?
Because Olivia Wilde's character willingly was partaking in the.
Wasn't Olivia Wilde part of the problems? I still don't know.
No, like, because spoilers for Don't Worry, Darling. It's all a simulation.
Yeah, I knew that, which sucks.
Yeah.
That's lame.
And
but
it super sucks. And Olivia Wilde's character is like, yeah, I willingly went into the simulation because in the simulation, like, my kids are alive or something. So she was like, because
enough.
Florence Pugh was like, did you know that we're in the Matrix? And Olivia Wilde's like, yeah, duh.
That's actually an awesome reveal. I would love it if in the Matrix movies, that was Neo's response too. Like, your world isn't real. He's like, yeah, no
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, I just
It's all
wanted to
like,
work
yeah, I
at
know.
this. I wanted to
I'm like,
work
yeah,
at this
it's sick.
office.
You think I thought the world looked like this? This isn't the color palette of Earth. It's fine. You know, I got a desk job.
Yep,
Maybe
that's all you need.
kind of what's going on with me.
That is the very funny thing about any of those, like something like that, or Mad Men, or Office Space, like any of those things from that era where it's like, wow, the American office truly has destroyed the soul of the working man. I don't know.
Are you kidding? Like, I would working
Yeah.
in Mad Men office. would
Yeah,
be
dude. Like,
fun.
especially because I was watching it, like, I'd come home from like 10 hours of standing up and getting yelled at by boomers. And I'm like, I don't give a shit how soulless you think this is. The grocery store is just as soulless, but at least you get a chair and you can drink at your place of work. Like, sign me up for that any day.
Yeah, like, I mean, not that I drink at my place of work because it's not the Mad Men
Yeah, of
office,
course,
and
not
it's
Mad Men.
a few years later. But
Mhm.
but maybe we should go back to that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, look, if I'm going to deal with
well,
the
we
exact same
tried.
amount, if I'm going to deal with the exact same amount of ennui, but I can also purchase a home, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Like, I think I'll be okay.
like
or Fight
sitting
Club.
is great. Like an office job, most of them, there's crunch. You know why crunch exists? It's because when there isn't crunch, people are dicking around on their phones and not working.
Yeah, because you're
which
in an
is
office.
sick. And so it's all because you're in an office, and that's what it's for. It's adult daycare.
Yeah.
Which
And
nothing makes me
obviously-
more mad than those videos. I don't know if you've seen these, Matt, on Twitter, because I haven't sent them to you on Instagram, and I know I send you really great.
Yeah,
Instagram
I love your content. Yeah.
Where I'm just like, what will upset Matt, and then we'll incidentally upset Ethan because it's going to go into his.
I sent it.
Thing.
One of the videos you sent me, or it was just something similar. I sent it to another one of my friends, and I said, "I'm going to kill this man with a ball peen hammer." And you responded with, "Matt, I feel like you've been watching these videos a little longer than you're letting on. If you're this angry," and I was like, "Let me tell you about my good friend Coach." But
Let me tell you about the man who's trying to ruin me.
and succeeding. Sorry, please continue though.
It's also very.
He's
funny
also
because-
ruining me.
Well, like my Instagram reel, it's like cat videos and like cute relationship things. Those go to my girlfriend, and then it's just like the most sick polyamory, whatever weirdo shit that
Ugh.
pops up, and that all goes to Matt.
God, I hate that man so much. He's simultaneously the victim and the villain of every video he's in. Like,
The poly couple guy,
yeah, the poly
the
couple.
wolf.
The wolf.
Amanda and the wolf.
It's Dana and the wolf.
Dana and the wolf. I don't know.
I-
That part blurs
I-
over.
I
Because I
know.
just hear the poly couple, and I'm like, I enter a few
That was
mistakes.
perfect. That was exactly
Dude,
it.
I've seen too many of these videos.
I-
not by
which
choice.
Admittedly, is maybe my fault.
It is
A little
solely
bit.
your doing. Yeah. The other problem is whenever you send me one by them, I do go to their account and look
You
at their
gotta, like-
follower number, and
keeps
inevitably I'll
going
see
up.
one. Yeah, and inevitably I'll see one that I haven't watched yet, and I'm like,
Well,
We gotta
Well,
check this out.
In we go.
I gotta stay up on the ongoing storyline.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'll send this one to Coach.
Anyway, but Coach, what's this reel that you haven't sent me?
Well, no, because I don't see them on Instagram. Luckily, I see these on Twitter though, and it's usually people complaining about these, but you see them a lot, where it's like, here's my day working at whatever office, and it's like girl, and she's like eating, yogurt, and then like does nothing for an entire day, and it's like, this is my life.
Yeah, I make $15,000 a week. Yeah.
No, because I think there's one that's passing around recently that's like, a day at like working Deloitte or something, which is like in a real company.
Yeah.
But presumably she is not working a real job in that company. And it's so much of, I don't know, it's just like weird adult daycare shit. I'm like, what are we doing? Why is...
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing, right? Like working in an office, I'm sure it sucks because work in general sucks, but I don't know.
There's a trade-off,
it kind
I
of
think.
suck that, yeah, exactly. Like you're getting something out of it. So that's why it's very funny watching those movies from the 90s where it's, Fight Club, these men who destroy the world because they're too tired. They're just tired of printing out copies of paperwork every day. And it's like, man, you guys just, if only you knew.
Like, because most of the time my work schedule is pretty, because I very rarely, I think, complain about my job other than certain things that are really specific to it. But like, I'm not like,
if
man,
you complain
I
about
hate
like
working
a
in an
coworker.
office. Yeah. Like, because it's like most of the time I work on a few things. I'm not going to say I only do like 2 hours of work a day and I spend the rest goofing off, but like I casually work on stuff. And in between that, I'm like kind of casually chilling a little bit,
Yeah.
And it's a nice balance. And I don't feel like I'm super attached to my work. And there's usually not a lot of pressure to get stuff done at like faster than what I'm currently doing. Like I don't suck at my job, so it's not like a problem. And that's really cool and really nice. But as soon as like they start ratcheting up the tension and I can't hang out and just kind of chill and it's like a good relaxing vibe, boy, does it suck. And I'm like, man, I wish I was working at like Target or something where
you should get a job at the box factory.
I would love a job at like in January, and like January through March, my life's going to fucking blow. And it's like not even really my fault, but like that's the cards I was dealt. And I'm like, man, I should just quit my job and work literally doing anything else. And this would be better.
And like,
because stress wise, I'd be like, I don't care about any of this. Like if I was working at Target, I'd be like, I don't care.
With like retail, right? It's weird because like the stress isn't like existential. Like, unless you're like actively stealing from the company or like doing other things like that, you're not going to get fired. You're not going to get like fired from your grocery store job if you can do it at all. But it's like just this omnipresent level of like, there is always 4 angry old women staring daggers at you no matter where you are. And they're looking for you to give you something, to yell at you about something. It's like, I don't care about them, but I have to pretend that I do because that's what keeps me from getting fired. And I hate
but I'm good at pretending about that though.
Yeah, no, I am too, which is why I keep getting promoted, which means I just keep getting yelled at more and more about worse and worse mishaps.
You're going to work your way.
Now people are yelling at you about something somebody else did.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll go talk to him. And I walk into the back and I just talk with my manager for a little bit about anything else. I come back out. I'm like, yep, sorry, nothing to be done. Bye. I took astonishing amounts of delight in just actively not helping people.
It feels
as
really
much
good.
as I could. It feels so good. It's crazy how fun that is. I understand.
I like not helping my coworkers when they ask me to do something. I'm like, actually, I'm busy.
Well, hey, coworkers, I'll be fine with that, right? Like if a coworker needs help with something, I'll help them out. But I'm saying like if a customer's like, where's this item? Do you have any in the back? I'll go, well, you just bought me a 10-minute break. I'll go look in the back.
You're like, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I just sit down next to the grocery manager and I just talk with him for a little bit. And I come back out. I'm like, yep, didn't see it.
I want to say I'm the kind of person who would not ask for something in the back. But when I was in the height of collecting all the Super Smash Brother figurines, I definitely got to the level of mania of like knowing when places had them in stock and knowing, but more than the guy who worked there. I was like, I go to Target. I'm like, I know you have this in stock. Can you go in the back and check? And they're like, I don't think we do. I'm like, wild. No, I know that you do because I have trackers that say that you do.
I followed the truck.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I drive the truck.
Just short
you
of
idiot.
that, I'm like, I know you have it back there, and I know this batch isn't street dated like it should be, so you're able to sell it to me early. Like, that's how bad it was. But the guy, the guys I would interact with were usually pretty chill and would actually check.
Yeah. Well, if people, that's the thing. It's all about tone.
White privilege, am I right?
Yeah, exactly. White privilege. But no, like if a customer asks me for something nicely, right? Like they're like, hey, I don't want to bother you, but could you see if we've got this back there? I'm like, oh yeah, for sure. But if someone like walks up to me and like yells at me like, you're out of chicken noodle soup, go look in the back. I'm like, oh.
Go take a hike.
Yeah. You have no idea what you have done.
Chicken noodle soup doesn't exist.
It's not white.
At
It's
this
not white
store.
privilege. It's like chill dude privilege.
Yeah, just being.
What did I say?
Hang on now.
My bad.
It's crazy what talking to a worker like they're a human being will do to you. So they're like, oh, someone I don't hate looking at. Cool. Let's see what we can do. At least that's me.
Yeah.
When I was working retail, I had people that would come up to me and say, this is a really nice neighborhood and you're ruining it because you don't sweep your store enough.
Hell yes. I haven't had any people complain about sweeping the store. I did have someone return $300 worth of groceries because she saw a fly land on the ground in like the front lobby area of the store. And that wasn't fun.
Well, and the grocery store that you work at is still the one that
it is. Yeah,
it's the same one. Well, I mean, that's just what happens there.
Yeah, but also
why are you shopping there and then
anywhere.
getting upset? Well, one, that happens anywhere, but two, at that particular grocery store.
And also,
chain,
actually, like the one that I worked at is pretty clean. Like we're pretty good about it. But it was.
Oh
just,
no,
like,
it's not like I don't think
yeah,
it's
you're in
necessarily dirty.
Virginia.
It's just like there's better places.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not bad. It's not great either. But you're also in Virginia in August. Like, what are you expecting? There are flies everywhere. That's just how this state is a swamp.
Work. Yeah. No, it's so disgustingly humid in Virginia.
Yeah, and it's like she didn't even see it on food. She saw it land on the ground in like the area that she was going to be walking over. And she was like, I don't want to get food from somewhere that has a bug problem. I was like, one fly in the store,
brother,
is as far as you can get from a bug problem. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it's become like a retail complaint podcast.
Sorry, yeah.
I want to.
I don't like retail.
Bad boy, what's a one word for retail? Bad boy stores.
Yeah, bad boy stores.
Store boy crimes. Bad store.
Stock boy crimes?
Stock boy crime. Wait,
Stock boy
what
crimes.
Did you say? Store bought crimes. That was
store bought crimes.
That's what my producer. They said that one wasn't bad.
I said that it was the best one.
Oh, okay, Skillshy said it was the best one too. Yeah, yours was. Yeah. Special guest, the producer.
Yeah. I'm not pandering, so I'm just.
I'm not.
I know where
that's why she doesn't like you.
Yeah.
I'm not pandering either. I'm just saying it how it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, I would call it stock boy crimes if it was up to me, but
got to keep that boy branding.
It's very important to keep the boy branding alive and well. Am I right, Matt?
Yep, so true. You know me. No plans to change that one in the future.
You're going to give people theories.
I love saying things I believe, but sounding like I don't.
It's a fun time.
Yeah, I definitely disagree with Kanye.
Well,
it's like I do.
I do.
I just sound like that sometimes.
Ben Shapiro does. Alex Jones does. Everyone does.
Shapiro.
Maybe this is
really
all a big
surprised
brain
Ben
play.
Shapiro has come out against.
I know that
Kanye
it sounds. Unfortunately, it does sound like I'm doing an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory, but yeah, of course, Ben Shapiro has come out against Kanye. Like, not being anti-Semitic about it, but
it's actually a good.
You would expect him to come out
Benjamin.
against anti-Semitism. Yeah, like.
No, see, I would think he probably wouldn't. Like, I think there's a line where he probably. I mean, Kanye across the line where everyone's like,
"Yikes!"
Yeah, it's bad. But I would say that there's probably a tolerable level for Ben more than.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be an alt-right influencer, you have
exactly.
to.
Right, that's what I meant. But
There
what if
was
this was
a
like a
clip.
huge? Let me
Go ahead.
Let me do this. What if this is like a big brain play on Kanye's part because he actually wants to like shift the tolerable amount of anti-Semitism back a little bit? You know what I mean? Like, so by getting everyone to be like Hitler is bad actually, and the Nazis are bad, he's like, maybe we're having this conversation we need to have.
He's trying to do like a consequentialist thing where he's like, well, I may take the fall, but in the long run,
maybe that's what
will
he's
be less
doing.
anti-Semitic for it.
That is an incredibly charitable read.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's
And I think
somehow-
he's just a crazy
it's a common
person.
read actually.
yeah. They're
Really?
the
Is
other,
that like what the like Kanye subreddit is like, where they're like, oh, he's
No, the
actually...
Kanye subreddit actually. The Kanye
it's in
subreddit,
shambles.
they turned into like a Holocaust awareness thing. They're just posting information about the Holocaust and how anti-Semitism is bad.
That's good.
Yeah, I was really surprised because Kanye has such a strong fan base that have been through a lot of controversy and they've
Yeah.
stuck by him. And like the whole subreddit is just like, wow, fuck Kanye, fuck this guy.
Yeah, and you know, like I was saying earlier, like it is like the one thing where it's like, well, we can't defend this anymore because like even before when he said crazy shit, it was pretty obviously just to get a reaction. And now, even if it is, like you can't. Well, I think he's genuinely like past an event horizon.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
Kanye can't come back from this one because of how much he's doubled down on it. Unfortunately,
there was the time like I was off the Kanye train. I was looking at it, but I was off the Kanye train when he was doing the White Lives Matter shirt,
Mhm.
and I was like, 2 years he's coming back from this, no
Yeah.
problem. I get TikToks about it, and they're from like September, October, November, and all the comments from 2 months ago are just like, wow, he's got some really good points. He's actually like pretty smart. And I'm like, nah,
yeah.
I don't know about that. And
'cause-
people were pretty strongly defending him, and I was off that train. But I wasn't like anti-Kanye. I was like, I'm not a fan anymore.
But if he drops a good album, hey, I'll listen to it. Like,
Yeah, kind
I mean,
of.
like, with the
I
White
would
Lives
listen
Matter-
to
Download
the
it
way-
on LimeWire.
yeah, I won't give him that 0.0083 cents he'd get from my Spotify streams. No,
Yeah,
sir.
stream my album. I need those 0.83 cents.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I found like the White Lives Matter thing to me felt on the same level as like his when he wore the MAGA hat on SNL, right? Where it's like,
yeah, it's like
he's-
that, or when he wore the
he's-
Confederate flag in like 2013.
yeah, like
You're
he's
like-
trolling. He knows he's going to get a reaction, and it's not good. But also, yeah, in a couple months, he could have bounced back from that if that's all he did. And then, you know, whenever he dropped an album, Taylor Swift fans would just comment a picture of him underneath it, going like,
Yeah.
does anybody remember this?
And we're like, we don't care.
Yeah.
Well, I
and
say
everybody
we
go,
as if I was listening to any
the
of his
Kanye
albums, but-
fandom is
Yeah.
kind of like that. Now, the Kanye subreddit is like 80% of it is like Holocaust awareness, and then the other 20% is like, I can't believe Taylor Swift made graduation.
it is very funny
They're
to
doing what like
The Life of
Minecraft
Pablo,
fans did with,
parentheses, Taylor's version.
yeah, Hatsune Miku made graduation. Like,
maybe she did.
that's my take.
Yeah. No.
And people are posting pictures like if you Google Kanye VMAs, it's him with Taylor Swift, and if you Google Taylor VMAs, it's just her with like her award, and it's like who made who famous. And I was like, you know what, I like that.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I mean, not that Taylor needs any
No, she doesn't need
like he
any
doesn't need any
but-
support. Her new album's
No.
bad. Like,
But yeah, making a bad album is better than making a bad album and then also saying that you like Hitler. So between the two, I guess I
Yeah.
have to throw in my lot with Miss Swift.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like The Witcher. You know, sometimes you have to choose between the lesser of two evils, and I don't want to choose at all.
It's truly Sophie's choice at this point.
Well, it's also annoying that Kanye is like couching his beliefs is like, well, actually, there's something. Everyone brings something to the table, and like we're all good. And it's like, well, you know, no.
Yeah, I guess
like with that, I could see that because he's been saying that for a while.
Yeah.
And I could see that. But when he's like, there's good in everybody, especially Hitler. You're like,
Especially
okay.
the guy that everyone like will use as an analog for like the worst person ever.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
can't,
like,
if he
it's-
said even, if you just change especially to even, you're like, I'm still not on board, but like, sure.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, you're trying to
Yeah.
say like no person is like entirely black.
We're not
or
all
white.
black and white. Yeah.
Yeah, which I guess is true, right? But at a certain point, I do think we reach critical mass. Doing the Holocaust is going to outweigh pretty much any
Everything.
good characteristics you
Yeah.
have. Yeah,
And he's also using fake good characters. He's like, he invented the microphone and the highway.
yeah,
It's
like
he didn't. And also, like, you saw,
Even
like,
if
at
he
least
didn't-
say, like, he was a vegan and he was anti-smoking. Or, like, say something.
yeah.
He was a fellow artist.
But yeah. Anyway, like I was saying off mic, the Infowars thing is the only time I've ever seen Alex Jones like break character and nervously look at the camera.
Yeah,
And
he's
that
like,
was
well, we're not Nazis
dark
here. And
look.
Kanye's like, actually.
Yeah, like that
Well,
was
actually.
that was wild.
Yeah.
Truly changing an era. It did. I don't know. I've seen people like praising Alex Jones, which is a very funny direction for the discourse to go, where people are like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
Well, he-
about that.
yeah, it's like, well, I
I
mean,
think
he
he just
knew
did-
what
he did
Kanye
the
was
bare
saying.
minimum.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like if that was the first time Kanye had said anything anti-Semitic and Alex Jones was just having him on, then honestly, I would be sort of like, I mean, yeah, props to Alex Jones for like shutting that down. But we're
knew
like
what he
a
was
month
doing.
into this. Yeah, he
Yeah.
knew it was going to happen. I don't think he understood the extent to which it was going to happen, because I do genuinely think he was nervous in that look that he gave the camera.
Yeah.
Like, oh
Yeah.
fuck, like
Well, he called out, it's like, you're doubling down. It's like, this is quadrupling down at this point. But he was like,
Yeah.
trying to get him to back off a little bit.
He was trying to give him some outs, and Kanye's like, nah.
No,
Yeah.
he's like, I've been given a lot of outs by a lot of people more famous than you, Alex, and no thank you.
yeah, and that's why, like I was saying, I really don't think these are coming back, because even if
No.
like tomorrow he came out and was just like, hey, all those times I said it wasn't a manic episode, yeah, I was wrong. It was just a really big manic episode. Like it's too late.
Yeah, you've been in a manic episode for 4 years. Like,
Yeah. And in this particular aspect of it, he's walked past so many olive branches that even if people at the end of the day aren't going to call him an anti-Semite, which I think he is, at this point, there's
Yeah.
really no way to talk around that.
Yeah.
Even if they aren't going to do that, I don't think anyone's going to want to work with him going forward.
yeah,
Which, you know,
As and
So it goes, I guess.
As they shouldn't want to.
Yeah.
Like, of course they would.
yeah, I don't want to associate with that. Like,
I'm
Yeah,
going
there's-
to say it on mic. We're not going to work with Kanye West in the
Yeah,
future.
Kanye
Bad Boy
West is-
Crimes. No collab with Kanye West.
Kanye West is
Not
not welcome on
happening.
Bad Boy Crimes. He's not welcome on the Doug Zone. Not welcome on Historic Esoterica.
None of
Bad
the
reads.
Cretan Podcast Network.
Yeah, the Cretan Podcast Network. I got to see if I can recover that Twitter password, because I missed that. I missed the week where that Twitter account existed.
Yeah, me too. I was thinking about that. I was like, damn, whatever happened?
Yeah, I got locked out of the account because I accidentally deleted Twitter off of my phone. Well, I did.
Accidentally.
I intentionally deleted Twitter off my phone, but I forgot to
Yeah.
write down the password to that one, and now it just won't let me log back in. So we'll see if I
That's
can
fair.
recover it.
Kanye, he's in trouble for the biggest crime that you can commit in modern society, which is making conservatives look bad. And that's why he's banned on Twitter.
Yeah, it's funny for Elon Musk to be like, this isn't like you.
Yeah, this isn't like you. Which he's
Like,
doing.
yeah, I think it's
Which is-
absolutely like him.
It's
Yeah.
almost exactly what Grimes said to him when he's just like,
Yeah, I
pronouns
love
are
you.
bad.
But please turn off your phone.
This isn't your heart.
Wow, history repeats itself.
Yeah. First is tragedy, then is farce.
I wonder, because I know in the past that the Kanye Defense Squad will, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, Reed,
Mhm.
but they will always kind of lean into the mental health stuff and be like, well,
Yeah.
he's like unmedicated bipolar guy, like this isn't that kind of
Yeah,
excuse
they,
thing. And I just
they
wonder,
lean into that, and they lean into like he's a futurist. In 10 years, look back at his interviews 10 years ago and see how he was talking in like 10 years from
Yeah.
now. And I still see some of that, and I also see
I
some of
see-
like he's wearing a full mask. I don't even think it's him. Like
I see
no,
some
it's-
of the like the
It's his
mental
voice,
illness
like-
stuff, like especially like during like the Pete Davidson thing, where it was like this is very clearly just a man spiraling about his divorce and losing custody of his kids, who shouldn't be online. But like, I think part of why the mental illness thing is so
we've all
difficult
been
for
there.
this. Yeah, we've all been there. But I think why it's so difficult for this in particular is because there's so many people who have bipolar disorder and haven't done things like this.
Yeah.
And then also, while doing
Barn
things
Dog,
like this,
great
didn't
example,
go
famous example.
Yeah,
Did a lot of things. He,
yeah. In all seriousness, like he obviously went a little crazy there, but it's worth noting that his going crazy entailed moving to a different state and getting married, and not, saying that he loved Hitler on every public platform he could find. Like,
yeah.
One of those is a little worse,
or a lot. I would say
yeah, a lot. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
People also like to lean into like, he hasn't been the same since his mom died. And like, yeah, sure. That was 2007.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that like, you're not going to just get over it, as I've been told, but you should be able to manage.
Yeah. And just like bipolar, there are many people whose mothers died who haven't done these sorts of things. Like,
yeah,
it's, it's the same as like anybody who tries to like, in like psychology in particular, when they talk about like serial killers, and they ignore the truth, which is that they were created by MKUltra programs, of course. But they're like, they were abused as children. It's like, well, that doesn't explain it all, because many people who were abused as children, while they dealt with trauma and had issues later on in life,
they just
didn't
start
murder
a podcast.
40 women. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You just start a podcast, you start a Twitter, you don't become a serial killer and like annihilate entire families. So on some level, you got it.
You play a video game.
Yeah, you play a video game.
You go on GTA, you kill a bunch of civilians.
Yeah,
GTA,
do it in there.
and then you get it out of your system.
Yeah, and then you
that's
go,
what it's for.
All right, off to work.
Yeah.
Play Hotline Miami for 2 hours and then stare at people's heads as they walk through the door.
Well, I've never done that because I've never played Hotline Miami, but I have played
really?
Katana Zero.
Katana Zero rules. Hotline Miami's very
and
fun.
I would say I have played Katana Zero with a similar kind of
you
After
get into
Effects.
that. The only time I have ever truly just like Hotline Miami, right? All those games are sort of designed. You do the violence and it's fun, but you're supposed to think like, wait, am I a bad person for this?
Well, it's like either am I a bad person, or like is this real, or like it's like a half
and like
thing to make
it's fun. Like I don't mind that at all, because it does. I do genuinely think it makes you think a little bit, right? Especially something like Katana Zero, where it's alluding to like government programs, stuff like that.
Yeah, and,
real things.
You're like, okay,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
When's that DLC coming out?
Yeah, we got to find the truth. Yeah, the Dave McGowan LC, but. The only time a video game like that has ever successfully made me question my actions was when Izzy was watching me play Katana Zero, and just not even like to condemn me, just went, wow, you're really efficient at this, as I was just like slaughtering rooms full of men, and I genuinely paused the game and had to sit down. I was like, fuck, I'm very efficient at killing these people.
Yeah, but I think that's looking at it too
exactly.
much within the simulacrum of the game, right? I mean, all you're doing is just moving in lines and hitting buttons and like basically essentially circles, right?
Yeah.
So it's a fucking.
This sounds like
I don't think that video game
sounds like
violence
Kanye explaining how he was a serial killer. It's like all you're really doing is moving in lines, pressing buttons.
Yeah.
It's really a
throwing
simulacrum
a knife every now and then. Yeah.
Well,
to be clear, I don't think that
unmasked a little bit.
we're all just moving around. We're all just atoms interacting with atoms. What's the difference?
Yeah, I don't think that video game violence is bad, to be clear. Well, I don't think it's good either.
I think at the kind of what you're
champion
saying, like on one hand, it's like I don't think video game violence causes people to become serial
Yeah,
killers. But
yeah, like no one becomes a mass shooter.
Well, it's also
No,
like
they
there's
just
different
join the
games,
army.
right? Like I think there's some games that absolutely probably like incite aggression or whatever, and like normalize some kinds of violence.
Yeah, I mean it's just a fact of life. Like if I play Doom for several hours, I'm going to just feel a little more aggressive because I've been listening to incredibly aggressive
guns
music.
Are cool.
Yeah, exactly. I've been listening to incredibly aggressive music and pantomiming blasting things to pieces with a shotgun. Like that's going to
do something.
Yeah, whereas if I'm playing like unpacking for an hour instead, like I'll leave like, I should move that painting.
Or if you play Celeste for an hour,
I'm gonna leave thinking
something else will happen.
Maybe it's time for a rebrand.
Hiking.
Yeah, that's what I was alluding to.
Yep.
Man, I love hiking, actually. Is that a point against me?
Yep.
Or in my favor, it's not a bad thing. This is going to be unlistenable to people who don't understand the bit that we're referencing, the great debate.
And we're not going to reference it.
No, we're not going to. We're not going to explain it. It's not my job to educate you about these matters.
I think it's important to not spell everything out to an audience. Like, I think subtext is good. And there's one thing I think this podcast does great is there's tons of subtext that you can read into.
There's many layers, and it's not just because we all accidentally talk over each other.
If you glean something from this podcast in general, it's true. It's canon. Anything that you have gleaned from the subtext.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Anything and everything.
Anything that you have taken away, and you're just like, wow. Art is subjective. This is true art. And anything that the viewer, the audience gets from it, that's canon, in my opinion.
I agree.
You can no longer look at intention in art because of AI art. Art doesn't.
How do we feel about AI?
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing the AI
art. Doesn't have to have intention anymore.
I still don't even know what was going on in the AI art discussion. I opened up Discord and there were, I kid you not, 243 new messages. And I said, well, I'm not reading these. I'm going to go to work.
Well, I love it. I love seeing the conversations pop up in the Discord and ones that I know I can throw out a few lines that I know will feed the fire, and then just sit back and let people.
Anytime AI comes up, I'll always just tune in. I'm like, I'm not reading this, but Marty's right, because Marty's like, this is bad. It's satanic, and it's there to fuel capital. I'm like, yep, he's right. Throwing in my lot with him. Goodbye. Shout out to Marty.
Shout out Marty. He's
I think AI art's large. Yeah, no, he's definitely not listening to this one.
And good for him.
He's right to do it.
Yeah.
Once again, he's correct. Yeah, that's the episode, I think.
Yeah.
We'll wrap it up. We got places to be. Matt, I'm going to have you do the theme song for this one.
All right.
You're an artist.
Yeah.
Theme song by Digital Matthew.
Okay. All right. What does that look like?
SoundCloud.com/Digital Matthew. And that's the whole theme song.
I'll sample that.
Yeah, yeah, we could work with that. Put that in at the ending when we have an ending theme, and then just do that. There we go.
I actually don't mind. I don't hate their new intro. I'm going to be real. I know that's a hot
haven't
take
listened to it,
in these
so
circles.
I don't know.
I listened to half of it once while I was like, wow, this is going to suck.
Is it better than Digital Monster?
I think it fits the vibe a little more.
A little bit. To me, it's not a theme song.
Yeah, it is just. It's sort of like it's just a Gregorian chant with samples. But yeah, anyway.
Anyway, do you have any plugs?
Yes, I do. I have. You can follow me on. Actually, don't follow me on Twitter. I'm not doing anything on Twitter. Follow my Instagram, everybody, at Matt_K_Ultra.
Yeah, you'll get a lot of good memes.
And unfortunate number
1/20th of them are memes that I've sent into various Discords.
Yeah. And the worst is when I send a meme and then I open up Discord and you sent it somewhere else. I'm like, well, I can't it seems insane if I go Coach, I didn't take this from you. So I just have to sit there and let you think that I did. Because sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't.
No, sometimes sometimes I can tell. And sometimes I'm like, okay.
It's parallel.
I try to at least hit it with an emoji. Anyways, follow me on Instagram because I'm posting a lot. It's not all good, but I'm posting a lot. You can also follow both of my podcasts, Historica Esoterica, which is a real podcast. We put work into it and talk about history and conspiracy and the occult. And
Under the Silver Lake. Good
Under
episode.
the Silver Lake. It's our latest one. Thank you, Squid, for your support. And also the Doug Zone, where if you think, wow, I wish that this was even worse. I wish that Matt was just really shooting from the hip this entire time and paying no attention to it. Well, if I got a show for you.
And do you want to listen to a half-remembered Nostalgia Critic episode?
Yeah.
Discussion?
Look, yeah, if you hate Doug Walker, I have good news. We don't talk about him very much. If you love Doug Walker, I have good news. We don't say mean things about him very often because we don't talk about him very much. We also have a Patreon, so follow us over there. Those ones we do put some effort into making them remotely good. So I think
the
that's
main effort is just by not even having to talk about Doug.
Yeah, exactly. We don't even have to pretend.
It's just like Rock Lee taking the fucking weights off,
Yeah, exactly.
That's the Doug Zone Patreon.
That's what it feels like. Yeah, if you want to listen to me free of pain, then you can pay on Patreon.
$3 a month.
$3 a month. That's a bargain. We upload 4 episodes a month. So
It's
less than $1 an episode.
Yeah, there you
We're
go.
practically giving them away.
Yeah. How do you spell Patreon?
No, you can't. No.
patreon.com/ Is it the Doug Zone or just Doug Zone Cast?
I think it's the Doug
But you
Zone.
can. $3 gives you access to bonus Doug. All right.
Got it.
I don't have any plugs.
That's fair. Listen to my album. Listening to me on the Doug Zone. Whenever that happens again.
I'm sure it'll happen in the future. When
We'll see.
With
Look,
Coach, maybe not. I don't know.
who knows?
Who knows? Probably
my
not,
finals week
because your
is-
fan base does not like me.
No, they're divided, but largely they are mostly in your favor.
I think if they listen to this, they would have a new appreciation
Exactly. Yeah.
because it's been a while.
It's been a while. But no, I'll see if I can get my one friend who messaged me specifically saying she didn't like you. Eventually I'll get her to listen to one of your things.
I'm good.
Yeah, look, it's
Listen
my
to the-
finals week next week. After that, the Doug Zone's going to start going crazy because I will be bored for a straight month and not have to worry about homework. So who knows what'll be happening
So
over there.
Twitter's coming back. Instagram's coming back. TikTok's going viral.
TikTok's going to start. I made a TikTok for Historica Esoterica too, so we'll see if I ever think of anything to do with that. These are my prolonged plugs.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on Bad Boy Crimes.
Normally, we do not have any plugs ever.
Yeah.
Everyone who does this show is just like, this show's beneath me. I don't need plugs.
Look, nothing is beneath me. I will do anything to plug the Doug Zone.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. I love the Doug Zone.
I love the Doug Zone.
I like Ike, like those stickers. Just I love Doug.
That's good.
Let's go, Doug. Let's
hug Doug.
let's hug Doug.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Let's
Okay.
hug Doug. All right. We're gonna leave it on a cliffhanger. Good night, everybody.